Has the NFL finally mirrored the NBA? What you mean by that? Well, next episode, not a plane. But it's a thought I was thinking of as I was watching the NFL right now, and I was like, the NBA sort of been on what I'm about to get to for a while. But the biggest thing is sort of, I was like, a little bit of it is parity, where it's like, who can win it this year? Anybody can win it, and also talent where I would like the talent is sort of the same in the same. I would like the playing field. So I like what I'm saying. So I explain obviously the parity of the NBA is like who will win the title. I was like for a few years now it's been one team, another team, one team, another team, and it's not like the same team broke like going back and forth. I was like, but it's been a new champion every year. We'll see if Oklahoma City is going to break that mold or whatever. And if they do, I was like, then it might stop the whole parody thing as well. But it's basically where everybody's going to change how I guess, we'll talk about dynasty. You know, if you win this amount in so many years, you'll be more of a dynasty. We might not have back-to-back champions anymore. With that being said, the NFL this year, for the first time of really the parity, I feel like is here. I was like, it's something I think they've been wanting and trying to do. That's why you've been having like that's why it's like been with the playoffs. I like how they let the teams in differently. How with the wild card and all that other stuff is to give more of your team a chance to play. Now, of course, no matter which sport, you always got bottom dwellers, and you got a pack that's in the middle, and then you sort of have some of the top people or top teams. The NBA, I was like, the top teams, while it is, I was like, West heavy, and it sort of is like that in the NFL, where it's a lot more West heavy. I was like, but you have the team that you always in your hand that you always think of. The NFL, I was like, for a few years, have been doing that. Now it's kind of looking a little different. Now, of course, there still is the same one. Some of the old heads are still roaming around and whatnot, and it's like so. And not necessarily saying I was like now. Obviously, I meant old head with the team. The NBA don't really have that sort of thing. The NFL do. We're like Pittsburgh Ravens. I was like, Buffalo, Kansas City. How it's sort of been Eagles. I was like would be the Cowboys in situations, even though we know they're not gonna win, but they're always still around. NBA. I was like now it's kind of like Oklahoma City. It's I was like it's the Nuggets. It's the Knicks. It would be the Celtics on the normal cases. I was like the Lakers always in the mix. The Rock, but now you got the Seahawks at the top. You got the Rams always around, but you got the Colts at the top. You got the Patriots that are back that's been away for a while. So now you got, but it's like, but we don't believe in those teams. They gotta show us. Same thing where it's like Oklahoma City. They were getting picked for a while. You gotta show us. I was like, the Nuggets, they got the best player, but you gotta show us. The Knicks, it's like I was like, look at their record and stuff. You gotta show us. The Celtics, they're always there. It didn't work until it did. Celtics is kind of like, I was like, Celtics and Eagles are really kind of the same team in that. So I was like, the NFL is kind of at parity, where it's like those teams at the top, but if some other ones in the wild card can sneak in, some of the veterans, of like, there's the Bills, there's I was like, Chiefs. I was like, we'll see if they can bounce back. The Ravens, they can bounce back. But you got some other teams that's in there, Chargers and I was like Jaguars and stuff like that, where it would not really shock you, other than sort of the fact that these teams don't have the lineage of winning in a way. Like the Jaguars show up, everybody be like, the Jaguars, but they can run the ball fairly well. They can't really. I was like, passing the ball. They don't have weapons. I was like, their defense is pretty well. It shouldn't really be shocking, but it's the Jaguars. It'll be like if we're like, oh man, the Grizzlies, them, okay, that's weird. But it's like they got enough talent where you can turn around. I was like, not this year, but you get what I'm saying. I guess the one I was like that's also where I feel like the NFL has started to come around to the NBA is the NBA. It got its top superstar, just like the NFL got its top quarterbacks and top player that they spots. I was like, you got the quarterbacks, the 3 to 4 or whatever. You got Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon St. Brown. I was like, you got players, you got the top people with whatever positions and all that other stuff. No different than anything. But then after that, you really start to realize that, hey, there's so much talent now, which, if you want to make the case that this talent more talented than what it used to be in the yesteryears in your granddad's NBA, NFL, you'd be like, yes, of course. It's just sort of how we build upon things. It's like, sure, yeah, but now it's kind of like the difference in all that is that, yes, there is, but because of that, everybody got sort of the same playbook. Everybody sort of could do a lot of the same similar stuff. They know what they need to do now. I was like, they're not specific roles like they used to be, like in the NBA, where it's like you just rebound. Maybe you're just a playmaker. You're just a 3-point specialist or whatever. It's like, oh, that dude needs to rebound, shoot threes, and be able to at least like dribble and pass out. You didn't have that back then. Same thing with the NFL. You used to have like strong safety, hard hitter. I was like linebacker that can run, linebacker that can thump. I was like a real big nose tackle or what, I was like, now everybody sort of has, like, you a safety, like, I need you to be able to lay the hit, but not get a flag, but also be able to cover, so it was like, corner, I was like, yes, you always needed your corner to tackle, but now I need you to really tackle, I need you to really run, you got to sort of be a jack of all trades now while still being in your specific lane. Which now makes it a little bit, I was like, disposable of players. Like, unless you are maybe get like a high draft pick, like normal, that you get your spot where it's like, okay, you're pretty good of being like, we're going to keep you in there. Now, granted, the NBA and NFL is different in this regards forever, just because more players, more rounds, that whole thing. But how many times do you realize that I was like, your team really interchanges 1 or 2 receivers all the time, to where you're just like, oh, like, you got your main one, and then there's probably a second one that stays around, and then everybody else up for grabs. You sometimes, I'm like, yeah, they might stay here for a season 2, then they're just gone. I was like, the linemen, you got your star 1 or 2 linemen, and then the other ones, they're just gone. It's like, oh, they could just be replaced. We just got more draft picks or whatever. It's like, but we just drafted that dude last year. Why we already put him on the benches? He's not that good. It's like, he's not good enough for us not to make another pick. And that's what I feel like with the NBA, where it's like the NBA, I was like, oh yeah, you got your main guy that you're either trying to build on, or he's the guy. I was like, you got a couple pieces here. I mean, of like, second, third dude, and then everything else interchangeable, because there's no specifics here anymore. So I could just go plug and play a new person. I was like, oh, I can find another guy that's willing to just, I was like, he shoots at this clip, cool, I'll just pick him up. He plays hard. I was like, well, there's no need to sign you. We'll just let you go. We'll just let you sit in restricted free agency. I'm not going to give you that big money anymore. I was like, why? I was like, I don't have to. I feel like with the same thing, it's like kind of like the NFL with quarterbacks. It's like your young quarterback's not picking it up in the time that you need to. Oh, you at the top of the draft? Sorry, you got to go, buddy. I was like, all right, got a new one here. I was like, oh, that receiver? I was like, man, I was like for instance, the Buffalo Bill with Keon Coleman. If he don't really pick it up after this year, guess what? They're going to trade and they're going to get a new wide receiver, fill in that spot. I was like, you seen a little bit with the Carolina Panthers. I was like, Leggett was over here playing like crap, and there was already talks about like, yo, we didn't get rid of him. I was like, they got Tag McMillan there. He already looking like he's pretty good. Do we really need you? Now, he was able to flip it and pick it up to where I was like, cool, you might have saved your spot here. I was like, Mitchell that was with the Colts. Guess what? He had them couple drops. Gone. And look, and he dropped something with the Jets, and it's like, you ain't playing good with the Jets. Gone, buddy. It's like, listen, I was like once you get from that high ceiling draft pick or like star status, everybody else, it's really just, it's like, you ain't producing right now, we already shifting you out. Why? Because the talent is so good now that we ain't got really time for you to play here. It's like, and I don't even mean like play like minutes. I mean like if you ain't playing, like you ain't showing us something, you're gone. I was like, y'all like, how many of y'all really know y'all second corner for for most teams? How many of you know you're like your linebacking core? You used to be able to be like, oh man, and some of this is also with how the NBA players move and stuff like that. And now you only know them for maybe like a season or two, and they're gone. NFL the same way. You can't really get stuck on a player anymore that's not really the quarterback, a receiver, and maybe a pass rusher. After that, I was like, they're all fair game. I was like, you used to be able to know. You used to be able to know the Steel Curtain. I was like, the Monsters of Midway. You used to know. I was like, you used to be like, man, I know these players, and maybe one guy be gone or whatever. There'd be so many. I was like, you'd be like, man, we still got some so and so. Now you like, is that so and so? I mean, the number look. So I was like, so I just started noticing. I was like, the NFL, and that's why I said parity is probably the way to sum it up, because you got parity at the positions. That now it's like, it has become, it's like you don't know who is who anymore. I was like, cause I was like, now so many, because the talent is actually good. That also means that you're just as replaceable. And in the sport, that, guess what? I was like, time matters. Because hey, you used to be able to maybe figure this stuff out. 4 year, 5 year, they deal with some of your knuckleheadedness or whatever they want to say. You're not getting the script, not getting the plan. Hell, now even if you sort of do, guess what? 2-3 bad weeks in the NFL. I was like, oh man, you a third round pick? Oh, gone or whatever. And don't even get it started with how the coaches get moved around and stuff like that. The NBA, so I was like, they stuck around really like this year, but they were switching a lot of them coaches around too, just like the NFL, where it's like, oh man, you been here a year, gone, buddy. Yeah. So I was like, I was just saying, has the NFL gotten to the point? Now look, this might change this year. Oklahoma City wins the championship. They break that parity streak a little bit. I was like, the NFL, I was like, next year could have all the old teams that we all sometimes get tired of but love. I was like, maybe they get brought back, and these new teams, which also on the younger side, which is sort of how you also see the NBA too, where the older team of like, they got the older stars, is like the Clippers. Point, you too old. Kansas City Chiefs, maybe you're just at the point of being too old. I was like, there's also that the Warriors. It's kind of like maybe it's like that wear and tear of being in the playoffs so much finally catches up with you. In the same way, like you want to say like the Steelers. Like, guess what? It's like they got a lot of old dudes. Maybe it just catches up, and it's just like you just can't really fully pull it off. Anyway, I'm just saying, that was like, I think this is the first time they've really had a lot of similarities in both sports, and I think parity is at the root of all of it, which still begs to be seen if it's a good or bad thing. Anyway, what do you think? Am I just seeing stuff, making stuff up? Let me know. Till then, peace. I'm out.